Hey guys, it's David at Guitars in the Bank, and today we're going to look at 7 guitars that get progressively weirder as we get to the end. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. First, we're going to start with this Epiphone. It's a Riviera Peerless cherry, and actually this finish is really nice. There's kind of some quilting on the wood itself. Nice translucent finish. This model was made in the Peerless factory, so it's the Korean build, so it's a little bit more desirable than some of the Chinese models you'll see. This one's not exactly the same, but it's very similar to the Riviera that Nick Valenci plays from the Strokes. And so it's just a really solid semi-hollow Epiphone. These are pretty classic, and this is not just a cheap import Gibson copy, but this is actually one that a lot of gigging musicians will use. Really nice block inlays, and again, if you were just to pick it up and play it, it sounds really nice, plays really nice as well. Next one is an actual Gibson, and this is sort of like the big brother to the last one we saw. The last was a ES-335 style. This is the Gibson ES-345. This is definitely one of the more sought after models from Gibson. This one I believe is a 2020 model, so it's fairly recent. And again, I just like how on this one you can see that the finish is translucent, so you get a really nice view of the wood on the front there. Really nice block inlays on the neck board. Of course, everything is going to feel great. And I don't buy a lot of Gibsons. This is a little unusual. I'm more of a Fender person myself, but what I will say with Gibson guitars in general is that they feel like a piece of furniture. They just feel so nice to hold, feel really well balanced. And so this is definitely one of the more desirable models that are out there. Next one, this was a real fixer-upper when we got it. It's a Gretsch 6117 from 1958. This was an anniversary model, so this was actually celebrating their 75th anniversary. And as you can see, it's got a lot of wear. Now, when we got this guitar, it was literally a shell of a guitar. I mean, I'm not joking. The neck was literally hanging off the body. The binding was peeling away. It was kind of a disaster. There was a lot, like the neck had a split down here. It was something else, but we have some really incredible luthiers locally. Charles Dick does a lot of our work for us. And so he was able to get everything back together structurally, and then we have an electronics guy that came in and restored the original pickups, got everything working again. And now this actually plays really nicely. So if you're looking for a good player's grade vintage Gretsch, this is definitely one of my favorites we've had through the store. Okay, we're gonna keep getting weirder here. So this is the step, a step in that direction. It's a bell tone guitar. Now, you likely have never heard of this company. I had not either until I got this guitar. And no, it's not the same bell tone that is the phone company, the old phone company. It's a different, I think they had 2 L's, there's only 1 L. But this is definitely a strange guitar. You have 3 pickups here, and each pickup is gonna have its own little, I love it when they do these switches. This is how you know this is from like the 60s or even like the early 70s. Each pickup has their own on and off switch here. Then of course we have 2 volumes and 2 tones. Actually, wait, no, it says 3 volumes and 1 tone. Sorry, I misread that. This one was another one that we had to put a lot of time and effort into. The guitar itself actually played really nicely when we got it. It was just the electronics were totally a mess, and so we had our guy go through everything. But it plays great. It's solid, but it's not super heavy. I want to say it's about 7 pounds. If you're looking for something that's going to look completely different on stage or something that no one else is going to have, I mean, this would probably be the ticket right here. All right, this next guitar, we've actually had this for a while, but it's one of the strangest guitars we have, and you'll see quickly why. The brand is Stars Guitars, and this is an early 80s model. From what we can find, this seems to be a custom build. It's not part of a catalog, and this actually was an early graphite neck. This is actually before graphite necks got really popular. But the idea was that it would be a lot more resistant to the changes in weather. So like whereas a normal guitar is constantly changing with the wood on the neck with the weather, this was going to be a lot more stable. And what's really interesting about this one, this guitar was actually designed by Leo Knapp and built by Daniel Ransom. Anyways, all the parts are really nice. So you've got the Kaler bridge here. It's a really nice deluxe Kaler bridge with the little fine tuners on the end there, a nice HSS pickup configuration, but just the guitar itself, I really like the way, I like the color of the blue they chose, but just the body style itself is so wild. You have a brass back plate here as well. Definitely one of the most unique. This was a boutique build, and I believe this was made in California, if I remember right. So yeah, definitely one of the strangest, coolest guitars we have. This is a really strange guitar that Gibson did at one point, and you know, really cool concept. In all practicality, did it really make sense? I don't know. It's a Gibson Les Paul HD6X Pro. So what made this really unique, of course you have it's actually a really nice finish, by the way. I do like what they did with the finish in the silver binding into the natural wood. But what they did that was really bizarre, so you have this hex system here by the bridge. Now what this actually does, in theory, this will actually capture each string individually. And then here you'll see where there's like a Cat5 cable you can plug this in with. And they would come with like a breakout box. Now we don't have the breakout box for this one, you'd have to buy that separately. But you'd plug this into a breakout box, and essentially you could actually get the signal from each string individually. Now, it's a fascinating concept. Here, one thing too that's really interesting, if you look at the tuning machines there, definitely interesting. They did some strange things on this guitar. Things that kind of make you scratch your head, or you think, oh, it's cool, but I'm not sure why. And it does lead me to the question of, were they solving problems that weren't really a problem? I know back when I first started in 2014, they made these Gibson Les Pauls. I want to say almost all of the Les Pauls I had seen had those robo-tuners on them. And truthfully, for me, it was kind of like, you know, cool concept, but a lot of guitarists, including myself, are like, do we really need a guitar that tunes itself, or can we tune it better ourselves? So, cool concept. In theory, it's really cool. Some guys may really love that. This is kind of in the category of Gibson's experimental phase. Last but not least, this is by far one of the strangest guitars we've ever had come through the shop. And you may or may have not seen these before. It is a Moog E1. Now, if you know of the brand Moog, you know that they're more popular, more famous for making synthesizers. But they decided to take a crack at guitars as well with this one. What's really fascinating is that this guitar, the way they built it with the pickup system, it actually, so the strings themselves can interact with the electronics, and the electronics can act back to where it can give the strings almost an infinite sustain, or it can do the opposite, where it can actually kill the sound a lot quicker. So it's definitely unique in that way. I don't know of any other guitar that has that sort of feature. Of course, we have a specific cable that these come with, and that's what helps do some of the really crazy features it has. This is definitely one that if you're looking for that specific feature of like an infinite, almost like loop on a sound, it's definitely gonna be one of the best options for you. And they're also just really hard to find. Moog didn't do a lot of these, so they're becoming more and more collectible. And aside from just being really fascinating, everything about this guitar is just different. You have a neck through design here with, you see how it has like that circular design with like where the finish ends and then get to like the natural neck. Of course, we have locking tuners, which is a great feature as well. Made in the USA, all sorts of crazy bolts on the back here that you just wouldn't get on a normal guitar. Yeah, if you're looking for a weird one, this is definitely, this is it right here. Strangest guitar I think we've ever had. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Out of all these guitars, which one do you guys think is the strangest one? Or if you could choose, which one would you take home with you? Let us know in the comments below. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.